Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork. Wanted to bring to you guys a product here that is going to solve a lot of problems in my SCX10 trail honcho. Now this product is a battery plate, but also it organizes everything in your truck to get the heaviest thing, which is your battery, to the lowest point on the chassis. It also organizes all of your electronics in a neat little organizational system. Now, there are 3 different versions of this plate for the SCX10. There's the one here that is called the Recon Brick. I'll show you the differences here in just a minute. They also have the Ultra, and then they have one that has a cutout for a CMS or a chassis mounted servo. They also make one for the Wraith. However, the Wraith is about 35 bucks, and the SCX10 versions are all about 45 bucks. Now it looks like they're exclusively selling to RPP Hobby, and that's a great place where you can pick up your stuff because RPP ships out very quickly, and I'm a personal customer of theirs. So let's go ahead and open this thing up, and let's show you what you get inside and see some up close video of this battery plate. So it comes in basically a hermetically sealed plastic bag, and let's go ahead and cut it open. Trusty knife. I'm not using an orange or a lemon. And pretty much you get the plate here. Let's look at inside this little Ziploc bag. Looks like you get 4 screws, 4 lock nuts. All look to be fairly decent. And then it looks like you get a little sticker package here. We're going to pull this out. I always like to see if we have instructions included. And nope, just stickers. All is good. So some pretty cool stickers, pretty good quality there. Not your typical run-of-the-mill, pain in the butt stickers. And as far as instructions, I did notice that on the RPP site they have some pretty up-close installed and uninstalled pictures. They also are some videos on both YouTube, which is mine here, and also on Vimeo has a couple of videos from Jevne Racing. So let's take a look at this thing up close. This is an all aluminum plate. It has a kind of a really cool matte finish. That's the anodization on it. It almost has like a brushed look to it, which is really, really cool. I'm really digging that look. And let's go here to the other side. Got the cool laser etched JR logo right there, which once again has that kind of cool texture to it. Not raised, just a laser etched on it. So it looks like they have a cutout right there for a servo, not to be confused with your servo on your truck. And then the biggest difference between this one and the Ultra does not have these little flaps right here to keep your battery intact. And then it looks like they have 6 points of Velcro contact. Got 2 on each side, and then 1 in the middle there, which is definitely a nice feature. Especially if you're using the smaller packs like I am, you want to keep those packs in the truck at all times. And then once again the JR logo on the far side. So very nice plate, very nice and lightweight. Very happy with that. I don't want to really add too much more weight to the truck because it is pretty heavy. And that's a look at it. And we'll cut to the next video here and I'll show you guys how it looks compared to the truck. And we're back now, and I wanted to show you guys kind of where this battery plate mounts up in the truck. Basically, if you can imagine, this thing just slid right on over. This is exactly where this battery plate will mount. Now the coolest thing about this plate is it gives you room to mount all of your electronics up over the front axle, which if you can see here, I kind of have a lot of my electronics here on the side, which doesn't give a good weight bias, left or right. This will end up moving all up here to the very front on top of that plate, where you kind of see that little cutout for a servo winch. Now this plate should mount up very, very easily, and we will cut to the next video and I'll show you guys how it mounted up. And we're back now, and I've done some wrench turning and got this thing installed. it actually got installed very, very easily. Pretty much there's 4 screws, 4 lock nuts. I did have to remove one of the shock towers just to get it fit in there because it is a very, very tight fit. Trying to get it maneuvered in there if you leave the shock towers mounted. Now, pretty much to remove the shock towers, just remove those 2 screws right there. Shock tower, removes. You can remove the shock if you need to, but pretty much there's just the 4 screws that mount onto this Jevne Racing battery plate. You're seeing the one right there, kind of at the point, and there's one on the underside. Hopefully we can view inside here, and my wiring's in the way, but right down here in that bottom section, all the holes lined up very, very easily. I did have to drill out the frame of this hole, not on the Jevne plate, but on the actual frame of the SCX10. So all in all, it mounted up very easily. Very happy with the way it looks. As far as the placement, I started moving things around. I pretty much use these small 3S Lipo packs. These are the Black Series Lipos, 2200 milliamp. And just to give you a comparison, here is a 5000 milliamp 2S Lipo. This is just a standard, Roar Legal hard case, and quite a bit of a difference. Now, one thing that I did notice on this battery plate, this is the Recon Brick plate. This does not fit within those 2 grooves. So if you do want to run these larger 2S hard packs, you will have to get the Ultra version of the Jevne Racing plate. It doesn't have these 2 side plates. These plates are basically meant to protect a soft case lipo. So just for your reference, if you are planning on ordering one of these, this obviously fits in here with no issue whatsoever. You have 6 points of Velcro strapping to do, and that's basically it. So I'm going to get all of my electronics maneuvered, installed, and I will show you guys what the finished product is with this Jevne Racing plate. And we're back now. I've done quite a bit of work on getting all the loose edges done on this Jevne Racing battery plate installation on my SCX10. There was a little bit of confusion on my part as far as how I was going to mount everything. I kind of already had everything pre-wired, and I was just, fiddling around in the shop here at about 1 a.m. and leave it to us scalers and crawlers to not only modify, but to modify the modified. So I went ahead and switched things up on this battery plate. I put my electronics box right here where the battery is actually intended for, just using some Velcro. And I went ahead and I mounted my battery up here on the top plate. Now the weight difference on the 2 is very, very minimal. So I went ahead and I did it that way. I may end up switching it up in the future when I go and rewire everything with some new lighting. But I think this ended up working out very, very well. Everything is going to plug in correctly. I'm able to mount my ESC way up here on the top, which that'll end up getting a nice little waterproof feature here in the near future. Now, as far as the installation, very, very easy. I can't complain about that at all. It went in very easily. 4 screws, 4 lock nuts, and you're pretty much done. The biggest thing is kind of figuring out your electronics. Now, this battery plate is compatible with your stock electronics box, so don't fear that you have to do some heavy modifying here. It goes on pretty easily. Now, one of the things that has been my issue with the SCX10 was the clearance for the servo, and let me show you guys here how much clearance you guys really do have. Now, I've somewhat modified my SCX10 to accept 2.2-inch wheels, so there is a lift kit on it, so there's even a little bit more travel than a stock SCX10. Now, let me flip it up here and I'll show you guys up underneath. Hopefully my flash and everything will work for us. And let's see, you'll see my kind of bumper post right there, but when you have full articulation, you are hitting absolutely nothing on that Jevne Racing battery plate. So lots of clearance. The other thing it does is it really kind of adds some structure to that chassis. You have 2 points of contact right here and also 2 points a little bit lower. So it's almost like you have 2 additional aluminum braces on your chassis to make it even stronger. So not too bad. I'm very happy with this upgrade to my SCX10. And that's it for now. Really quick, here is their website and some information from Jevne Racing. I got the sticker sheet right here. JevneRacing.com. Jevne. Want to thank Jevne Racing for sending this battery plate to me to show you guys. Very nice people there. So also they are exclusively selling to RPP Hobby, so you can also check their website out. As far as the different options, I went over this a little bit earlier. This is the brick version of their battery plate. They also have the Ultra, which doesn't have these nice little tabs right here to keep your battery in place, so you can run larger or higher capacity batteries. And then they also have a CMS version to allow you to mount a chassis mounted servo and to clear that space. That's it for now. If you have any questions about this battery plate, throw it down below, and as always, if you like the video, thumbs up and subscribe. Over now.